Do you ever feel mentally exhausted from carrying thoughts, emotions, stress, responsibilities, and unresolved situations that never seem to fully leave your mind? Like your nervous system never completely gets to rest. Because emotional clutter is real, and most people don't realize how much subconscious emotional weight they are carrying every single day. Unprocessed emotions, lingering resentment, mental overload, emotional tension, overthinking, pressure, unspoken feelings, past experiences your body never fully released, and eventually the nervous system becomes emotionally crowded. And that's exactly what we are here to discuss in today's Mindful Monday. Now, if it's your first time joining us, feel free to type in the comments where you're coming from, any questions or comments you do have, and any topics you would like to hear more about in the future. Also, you want to make sure you stay until the very end to find out how you can receive some free gifts. So, getting back to our topic. Most people think that exhaustion only comes from doing too much physically. But emotional exhaustion often comes from carrying too much internally, right? Now, the subconscious mind, it stores emotional experiences quite differently than the conscious mind. So you can consciously tell yourself, I'm over it, while your nervous system is carrying the emotional imprint within. This is why unresolved emotional energy often shows up physically. Things like brain fog, overthinking, fatigue, irritability, emotional numbness, anxiety, difficulty focusing, feeling emotionally heavy without even knowing why. Because the nervous system was never designed to hold endless emotional accumulation without release. And one of the biggest reasons people stay emotionally overwhelmed is because they never create emotional completion. They suppress, avoid, distract, stay busy, scroll endlessly, overwork, people please, overfunction. But the nervous system still keeps the emotional tabs open internally, and eventually your body starts asking for release. That's why emotional decluttering matters. Because healing is not always about becoming more productive. Sometimes healing is about finally creating space internally. Space to breathe, space to feel calm, space to think clearly, and space to reconnect with yourself once again. Now, one of the beautiful things about hypnosis is that it allows the subconscious mind to safely begin releasing emotional weight that the body no longer needs to carry. And not by forcing, not by fighting yourself, but by gently teaching the nervous system, you no longer need to hold on to this. And today I'd like to guide you through a process designed to help your subconscious mind emotionally exhale. So for our demo, let's begin by taking a slow and easy breath in, and then letting it out. And if you are in a safe place to do so, you can go ahead and allow your eyes to close down now. And as you breathe, you can allow your shoulders to soften. You can allow your jaw to unclench and allow the muscles around your eyes to just relax. And notice how much tension your body may have been quietly storing. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your nervous system adapted to carrying too much for too long. And now imagine yourself walking toward a peaceful room, a quiet emotional space inside your mind. And inside this room, there's shelves and boxes and drawers filled with emotional clutter your nervous system has been carrying. Old stress, old resentment, old worries, old emotional pressure, responsibilities that were never yours to carry, expectations, self-criticism, fear, mental noise. And for the first time, you no longer have to hold all of it at once. Imagine slowly walking through the room, and as you notice each emotional burden, you gently decide whether it still belongs in your nervous system. And if it doesn't, you release it. Maybe some of the boxes dissolve into light. Maybe some just drift away. Maybe some simply become lighter. And notice the emotional spaciousness beginning to form inside you. Notice your breathing becoming easier, your mind becoming quieter, your nervous system realizing, I don't have to carry all of this anymore. And imagine removing pressure from your chest, removing emotional tension from your shoulders, removing mental noise from your mind, and silently repeat, I release emotional weight that no longer serves me. I allow my nervous system to soften. I create space for peace. I deserve emotional clarity. I no longer need to carry everything internally. And as these words settle into the subconscious mind, notice your body responding. Notice the nervous system beginning to exhale emotionally. And imagine a calm, peaceful light slowly moving through your body, clearing emotional clutter from the mind, clearing heaviness from the nervous system, creating emotional openness, mental clarity and calmness. And imagine yourself waking up tomorrow feeling lighter, breathing easier, thinking more clearly, feeling more emotionally present. And not because your life suddenly became perfect, but because your nervous system finally stopped carrying what no longer belonged there. And let this realization settle deeply now. And as you continue breathing comfortably, notice how much lighter the room inside your mind has become. The shelves are no longer crowded. The boxes are no longer overflowing. The emotional clutter that once demanded so much of your attention is beginning to loosen its grip. And for a few moments, allow yourself to simply experience what spaciousness feels like. Not doing, not fixing, not solving, simply being. And perhaps you begin to notice something interesting. The mind often becomes noisy when it has been carrying too much for too long. And when some of that weight begins to release, what remains underneath is often clarity. Not because you forced it, not because you worked harder, but because you finally created room for it. And imagine yourself standing in the center of this newly cleared emotional space. Notice how open it feels, how calm it feels, how much easier it is to breathe here. And recognize that this space belongs to you. It has always belonged to you. It was simply hidden beneath layers of stress, pressure, and emotional accumulation. And now imagine a gentle breeze moving through this space. A warm, comforting breeze. And as it moves through, it carries away any remaining emotional residue that your nervous system no longer needs. Old worries, old disappointments, old frustrations, old expectations, old self-criticism, emotional burdens that were never yours to carry. Watch them drift away effortlessly. No struggle, no force, no resistance, simply release, because the subconscious mind knows how to let go when it finally feels safe enough to do so. And perhaps there are situations in your life that you have been mentally carrying long after they ended. Conversations you've replayed, mistakes you've revisited, decisions you've questioned, responsibilities held on to. And imagine placing each of those into a small boat, one by one, without judgment, without analysis, without needing to understand everything, simply placing them into the boat, and then watching as that boat gently drifts across a calm body of water, farther and farther away, until it disappears into the distance. And notice what happens inside as you allow yourself to release the need to keep carrying those things. Notice the freedom, the relief, the quiet, And now imagine a beautiful light beginning to fill the space that has been created. Because when we release emotional clutter, we make room for something new. Room for peace, room for joy, for creativity, presence, possibility. And this light begins filling every corner of your inner world. A calm, peaceful light, a healing light, a restorative light. And as it fills your mind and body, you begin feeling lighter, clearer, more grounded, more emotionally available for your own life. And imagine yourself waking up tomorrow morning. Notice the difference. Notice how your body feels, how your mind feels. Perhaps your thoughts are quieter. Perhaps your breathing is deeper. Could be your nervous system feels less crowded. And notice how differently you move through the day. You don't feel compelled to carry everything. You don't feel responsible for solving every single problem immediately. You don't feel trapped in overthinking. Instead, you respond from calmness. You respond from clarity. You respond from balance. And every time you choose to release what isn't yours, you strengthen these new pathways in your mind. You teach your subconscious mind a new pattern, a healthier pattern, a lighter pattern, a more peaceful pattern. And now imagine meeting your future self 6 months from today, a version of you who has continued releasing emotional clutter, a version of you who has created healthy boundaries, who no longer absorbs everyone else's stress, who no longer carries every emotional burden, who understands that compassion does not require self-sacrifice. Notice how peaceful they seem. Notice how present they appear. Notice how much energy they have available for the things that truly matter. And as this future version of yourself, what did I stop carrying that changed everything? And simply listen. Trust whatever comes. Because your subconscious mind often reveals exactly what is ready to be released next. And before we finish, take a moment to thank yourself. Thank yourself for slowing down. Thank yourself for creating this space and for listening to your nervous system, for choosing healing. Because emotional release is not weakness, it is wisdom. Letting go is not giving up, it is making room. And creating space is often one of the most loving things that you can do for yourself. And silently repeat in your mind, I release what no longer serves me. I allow myself to feel lighter. I choose peace over pressure. I choose clarity over overwhelm. I trust my ability to let go. My nervous system deserves rest. My mind deserves spaciousness. My heart deserves peace. I am creating room for joy. I am creating room for healing. I am creating room for myself. That's right. And allow these words to settle deeply into your subconscious mind, knowing that every time you release emotional clutter, you reconnect with your natural state of balance, your natural state of calm, your natural state of clarity. And every time you return to this practice, you strengthen your ability to let go with greater ease. Now take another nice, big, easy breath in, and you can let it out slowly. And as you do so, you can return your awareness to the room, allowing your eyes to open whenever you are ready, and bringing back with you a greater sense of lightness, a greater sense of clarity, a greater sense of emotional freedom, feeling calmer, more present, more spacious within. And remembering this, you do not have to carry everything. You do not have to hold it all together. you are allowed to put some of the weight down. And in that space, healing has room to grow. That's right. Now, if you'd like a free recording and some other gifts, simply type the word mindful in comments or private message me the word mindful if you prefer, and then follow the link, which I'll then put in. And if you'd like to work one-on-one to rewire your mind even more, then you can reach me at unwindthemindllc@gmail.com and check out the website at www.unwindthemind.com. Until then, trust your mind, breathe into your power, and have a wonderful Mindful Monday.